400. Oral Speech Good Quote by David Pai. 0125. 1. The rapid development of economy. 2. The remarkable improvement steady growth of people's living standard. 3. Advanced science and technology. 4. Be faced with new opportunities and challenges. 5. It is commonly believed recognized that. 6. The inevitable result of social development. 7. Arouse wide public concern, draw public attention. 8. It is undeniable that there is no denying that. 9. A heated discussion debate. 10. A controversial issue. 11. A totally different argument. 12. Some people, while others. 13. As far as I am concerned personally. 14. Reach an absolute consensus on. 15. Be supported by sound reasons. 16. Arguments on both sides. 17. Play an increasingly important role in. 18. Be indispensable to. 19. As the proverb goes. 20. Be no exception. 21. Exert positive negative effects on. 22. The advantages far outweigh the disadvantages. 23. Lead to, give rise to, contribute to, result in. 24. A complicated social phenomenon. 25. Sense of responsibility, sense of achievement. 2650. 26. Sense of competition and cooperation. 27. Widen one's horizon, broaden one's vision. 28. Acquire knowledge and skills. 29. Financial burden, psychological burden. 30. Take many factors into account, consideration. 31. From another perspective. 32. Make joint efforts. 33. Be beneficial to, be conducive to. 34. Make contributions to the society. 35L. Lay a solid foundation for. 36. Comprehensive quality. 37. Blameless beyond reproach. 39. Be committed to, be devoted to. 40. Admittedly. 41. Unshakable duty. 42. Satisfy, meet the needs of. 43. A reliable source of information. 44. Valuable natural resources. 45. The Internet. 46. Convenient and efficient. 47. In all aspects of human life. 48. Environmental protection, environmentally friendly. 49. A symbol of society progress. 50. The ever-accelerated updating of science and technology. 5175. 51. Hold different attitudes towards this issue. 52. People, those in favor of the former latter opinion. 53. Have provide the following reasons, evidence. 54. To some extent, degree in some way. 55. Integrate theory with practice. 56. An irresistible trend of. 57. The increasingly fierce social competition. 58. Immediate interest, short-term interest. 59. Interest in the long run. 60. Has its merits and demerits, advantages and disadvantages. 61. Exploit to the full one's favorable conditions and avoid unfavorable ones. 62. Take the essence and discard the dregs. 63. Do harm to be harmful, to be detrimental to. 64. Exchange ideas, emotions, information. 65. Keep pace with, catch up with, keep abreast with the latest development of. 66. Take effective measures to do something. 67. The healthy development of. 68. Every coin has its two sides. No garden without weeds. 69. Views on vary from person to person. 70. Attach great importance to. 71. Social status. 72. Focus time and energy on. 73. Expand one's scope of knowledge. 74. Both physically and mentally. 75. Be directly indirectly related to. 76100. 76. Set forth a compromise proposal. 77. Think. Believe, claim, maintain, argue, insist, hold the opinion, belief that. 78. Relieve stress burden. 79. Give top priority to something. 80. Compared with, in comparison with. 81. In contrast, on the contrary. 82. Replace, substitute, take the place of. 83. Cannot bear, closer analysis, cannot hold water. 84. Offer job opportunities. 85. Mirror of social progress. 86. Undoubtedly, there is no doubt that. 87. Enhance, promote mutual understanding. 88. Make full use of, take advantage of. 89. Suffer from heavier work pressure. 90. Guarantee the stability and prosperity of our society. 91. Put more emphasis on. 92. Adapt oneself to the development of society. 93. Realize one's dream, make one's dream come true. 94. The main reasons are listed as follows. 95. Firstly, in the first place, to begin with. 96. Secondly, in the second place. 97. Besides, in addition, additionally, moreover, furthermore. 98. Finally, last but not the least, above all, lastly. 99. All in all, to sum up in summary in a word. 100. We still have a long way to go. 101125. 101. According to the newspaper, it's a great movie. 102. Am I allowed to introduce our new manager, Mr. Anderson, to all of you? 103. As matter of fact, I don't agree with you. 104. As far as I'm concerned, I think we should pay more attention to the safety of school children. 105. As far as I know. As far as L know, he is not coming, but L may be wrong. 106. As I just mentioned, nobody should drop out of school unless they believe they face the opportunity of a lifetime. And even then they should reconsider. 107. As I see it, he is not the right person for this position. 108. As is known to us all, Hong Kong is one of the financial centers of Asia. 109. As long as we work together, we can make the impossible possible. 110. But for your generous help, we couldn't have finished the work so soon. 111. Can you believe that this excellent song was composed by a high school student? 112. Can you imagine how she lived through all these difficulties? 113. Could you please explain why you didn't come to the meeting yesterday? 114. Can't we just live in today without the worries of tomorrow or the regrets of the past? 115. Could you do me a favor, and could you do me a favor and give this present to Hillary for her birthday? 116. Do you by any chance know what time the movie begins? 117. Do you enjoy having a few friends around talking and laughing? 118. Do you happen to know how I can get to Times Square? 119. Do you have any good ways to promote our new product? 120. Did you know that Daniel has won the first prize of the writing contest? 121. Do you know if there are any apartments available in this area? 122. Do you mind giving me a glass of water and some aspirin? 123. Would you mind Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? 124. Do you realize that? Do you realize that your parents really care about you? 125. Do you think it is possible to? Do you think it is possible to solve the problem overnight? 126150. 126. Do you think it necessary to? Do you think it necessary to ask for official permission for the event to take place? 127. Doesn't make sense. What you say doesn't make sense. I don't agree with you. 128. Don't be afraid of. Don't be afraid of losing face. 129. Don't take it for granted that. Don't take it for granted that your parents should support you all your life. 130. Don't waste time doing. Don't waste time learning a lot of useless words in isolation. The best way of learning English words is to blurt out as many authentic sentences as you can. 131. Don't you think that? Don't you think that the gap between rich and poor is getting wider? 132. Excuse me for interrupting, but I have something urgent to say. 133. For one thing. For another. For one thing, these shoes don't suit you. For another, they are too expensive. 134. From my point of view. From my point of view, crazy English is the most effective way to learn English. 135. From where I stand. From where I stand, we should support him no matter what happens. 136. Generally speaking. Generally speaking, people like to hear compliments from others. 137. Hardly, when. Hardly had she begun speaking when there was a knock on the door. 138. Have you considered doing? Have you considered going abroad to study? 139. Have you decided? Have you decided where to spend your summer vacation? 140. Have you ever been to? Have you ever been to Disneyland? 141. Have you thought about of? Have you thought about setting up your own business? 142. Haven't you heard of? Haven't you heard of Crazy English established by Li Yang? 143. How are you getting on along with? How are you getting on along with your English study? 144. How are you going to? How are you going to celebrate your graduation? 145. How does sound? How does making our appointment at 8 sound? 8. 146. How long will it take you to? How long will it take you to recite such a passage? 147. How should I tell him the bad news? 148. I absolutely agree with. Sure, I absolutely agree with your point. 149. I'm grateful for your timely help. 150. I am planning to travel around China. 151175. 151. I am very pleased to have this opportunity to. I am very pleased to have this opportunity to stand here and give you a speech. 152. I apologize for leaving you alone. 153. I believe that we can conquer cancer totally someday. 154. I believe we should work together to protect our environment. 155. I can't imagine what my life would be like if I were disabled. 156. I can't stand it when people talk with their mouth full. 157. I didn't expect to receive such a pretty card from him. 158. I didn't mean to offend you. Offend N. 159. I didn't realize how much this meant to you. 160. I feel like going rock climbing with you this weekend. I really don't feel like going to the movies tonight. 161. I don't get very excited about going to the concert. 162. I don't know how to answer the question. 163. I don't see that I don't see that she really intends to help us out. 164. I don't think it is necessary to. I don't think it is necessary to leave so early. 165. I don't think it's right to. I don't think it's right to badmouth other people. 166. I doubt that if whether. I doubt if what he said is true. 167. I dream of. I dream of being a successful salesman. 168. I'm dying to. I'm dying to leave for Beijing to meet my parents. 169. I feel very honored to. I feel very honored to be a member of this team. 170. I'm fed up with. I'm fed up with all these traffic jams. 171. I'm sick and tired of. I'm sick and tired of the same old routine every day. 172. I find it hard for me to. I find it hard for me to make a speech in public. 173. I hate to disagree with you but. I hate to disagree with you but think your view is impractical. Impractical adjective. 174. I have confidence in. I have confidence in winning the crazy English speech contest. 175. I have nothing to do with. I have nothing to do with that man, I've never seen him before. 176200. 176. I have no experience in. I have no experience in dealing with children. 177. I haven't done for a long time. I haven't played the piano for a long time. 178. I insist that. I insist that you give me my money back. 179. I insist on doing. I insisted on making him our coach. 180. I intend to. I intend to give him a surprise. 181. I like nothing better than. I like nothing better than helping people. 182. I never dreamed of. I never dreamed of meeting you here. What a coincidence. 183. I prefer to. I prefer working as a manager in a small company to working as a clerk in a big one. 184. I prefer to, rather than. I prefer to stay at home rather than go out. 185. I really want to know. I really want to know how to improve my English pronunciation. 186. I set my mind to do something. On something. I set my mind to believe, hope and endure all things. 187. I sincerely hope that. I sincerely hope that our friendship will last forever. 188. I strongly advise you to. I strongly advise you to attend the Crazy English Summer Camp and I'm sure you will get more than you expected. 189. I suggest that. 1. I suggest that you go there by yourself. 190. I think this is a good chance for you to. I think this is a good chance for you to test your English. 191. I think it is a good idea to. I think it is a good idea to do exercise every day. 192. I think it is a waste of money time doing. I think it is a waste of time sitting in front of the television all day. 193. I think it's wrong to. I think it's wrong to impose your thoughts on others. 194. I think that it is impossible to. I think that it is impossible to be there before 8. 195. I think you might like to. I think you might like to know something about the new album. 196. I think you'd better. I think you'd better hurry up or you will be late. 197. I want to express my gratitude to. I want to express my gratitude to my family for their support. 198. I was impressed by. I was impressed by his inspiring words and I decided to cooperate with him. 199. I was wondering if. 1. I wonder if I could take this dictionary home. 2. I was wondering if you'd like to go to a concert tomorrow night. 200. I demanded that. I demanded that I see the principal right away. 201225. 201. I won't, unless. I won't write to him unless he writes to me first. 202. I used to. I used to go play basketball with some of my friends every Saturday afternoon. 203 I would advise you to. I would advise you to get up earlier on Mondays because there's always a traffic jam. 204 I would appreciate it if. I would appreciate it if you call me back this evening. 205 I would like to recommend. I would like to recommend the Vietnamese cuisine in that restaurant. 206 I would like to, rather than. I would like to take a walk rather than watch TV this weekend. 207 I would rather, than. I would rather stay at home than go shopping on such humid day. 208 I wouldn't feel happy if. I wouldn't feel happy if you didn't come to my birthday party. 209 I'd be happy to. If you'd like. I'd be happy to show you around if you'd like. 210 I'd like to know more about. I'd like to know more about the project you are carrying out. 211 I'd like to suggest you do. I'd like to suggest you take the test when you are still in school. 212 I'd love to but. I'd love to but I'm afraid I'm otherwise engaged. 213 I'm not certain. I'm certain that you will get over your laziness. 214 I'm afraid I won't be able to. I'm afraid I won't be able to finish the task before Friday. 215 I'm busy with, doing. Don't bother me, I'm busy with, doing, my project right now. 216 I'm considering, doing. I'm considering buying a second-hand computer for I'm short of money now. 217 I'm convinced that. I'm convinced that what you said is quite right. 218 I'm curious to, do, about. I'm curious to know what was happening outside. 219 I'm determined to. I'm determined to read 10 books this month. 220 I'm getting a little concerned about. I'm getting a little concerned about the results of my TOEFL test. TOEFL equals Test of English as a Foreign Language. 221 I'm interested in. I'm interested in joining the English Corner. 222 I'm just calling to. I am just calling to confirm my flight number. 223 I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I should accept that job offer in Hong Kong. 224 I'm not very interested in. I'm not very interested in listening to classical music. 225 I'm occupied with. I'm occupied with preparing for the final exams, don't bother me. 226 to 250. 226 I'm really fond of. I'm really fond of surfing the internet, it is pretty convenient. 227 I'm really terribly extremely sorry for. I'm really sorry for the delay of the report. 228 I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about going to France to study art. 229 I have a desire to. I have a strong desire to speak good English. 230 I've decided to. I've decided to run for the monitor of our class. Run for. 231 If I did. I would. If I knew his number I would phone him. 232 If I had done. I would have done. If I had known that you were coming I would have met you at the airport. 233 If I were you. I would. If I were you I would get rid of this bad habit. 234 If only. If only she would accept my invitation. 1. 235 If it is possible. 1. If it is possible I'd like to see you tomorrow. 2. If it is possible lend me your car tonight. 236 If you ask me I think. If you ask me I think you should practice more. 237 If you want to. You'll have to. If you want to remember more words you'll have to read a lot in English. 238 In a word. In a word money is something but not everything. 239 In brief short. 1. In brief we cannot please everyone all the time. 2. In short science frees us from the bondage of nature. It has made our lives easier and more comfortable. Bondage N. 240 In conclusion. In conclusion, I find mutual understanding plays a key role in building a friendly relationship. 241 In general. In general, graduates who speak good English will have more chances than those who don't. 242 In my opinion view. In my opinion, we should never abandon hope for success. Abandon. 243 In order to. You should. In order to understand this essay fully, you should read more about its author. 244 In other words. In other words, you should read and speak English crazily every day. 245 In that case. In that case, I have no more to say. 246 Is of great importance. If you want to succeed in life, I think to set a goal for yourself is of great importance. 247 Is it convenient for you to? Is it convenient for you to post this letter for me when you go out? 248 Is it okay if? Is it okay if I borrow your notebook tonight? 249 Is it possible to? Is it possible to exchange the milkshake for the ice cream milkshake? 250 Is there a better way to? Is there a better way to search for images on the internet? 251 to 275. 251 Is there any chance you could possibly? Is there any chance you could possibly come to China? 252 Is there anything else that? Is there anything else that you don't understand? 253 It appears that. It appears that great progress has been made in the IT industry. 254 It depends on whether. It depends on whether you are determined to do it or not. 255 It doesn't make sense to. It doesn't make sense to argue with him. 256 It doesn't matter whether if. It doesn't matter if you have made mistakes. Learn from your mistakes and you will make progress. 257 It goes without saying that. It goes without saying that women should have equal rights and opportunities with men. 258 It makes a no difference, to SB. It makes no difference to me whether you go or not. 259 It occurred to me that. It suddenly occurred to me that knew how to solve that problem. 260 It won't do any harm to. It won't do any harm to try it. 261 It would be wonderful if. It would be wonderful if we can go visit Mount Imei this summer. 262 It happened that. It happened that I won the football lottery last week. Lottery N. 263 It helps if. It helps if you can conquer your shyness and yell out English crazily. 264 It's amazing, that. It's amazing, that, China became the third country that launched a manned spacecraft. 265 It was, that who? It was Edward who told me about it. 266 It is bad to. It is bad to push yourself too hard. Just try your best. 267 It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine how he made it without any help. 268 It is believed that. It is believed that what she said is true. 269 It won't take long before. It didn't take long before he got used to life abroad. 270 It is easier to, than to. It is easier to buy a car than to keep one. 271 It is easy enough to. It is easy enough to copy and paste, but you should write something by yourself. 272 It is essential that. It is essential that effective measures be taken to protect our civil rights. 273 It is good manners to do. It is good manners to bring along a small gift or some flowers when you are invited to dinner by a foreign friend. 274 It is high time. It is high time we stopped talking about this silly question. 275 It is hoped that. It is hoped that no one was seriously injured in the car crash. 276 to 300. 276 It is important that. It is important that something be done before it's too late. 277 It's long been my dream to. It's long been my dream to make a speech in English. 278 It is, very not, likely that. It is likely that it will rain this afternoon. 279 It is, not, necessary to. 1. I think it is necessary to look before you leap. 2. When invited it is not necessary for you to bring anything with you. 280 It is no use doing something. It is no use talking without doing. 281 It is not unusual for SB to do. It is not unusual for the British people to drink tea. 282 It is impossible to. It's impossible to predict the outcome of the game. Outcome N. 283 It is dangerous to. It is dangerous to explore the jungle with so many wild animals around. 284 It is, rather, common to do. It is rather common for women to hold important positions in companies now. 285 It is reported that. It is reported that the world-famous football star will come to China next year. 286 LT is required that. It is required that every student should attend the meeting this afternoon. 287 It is said that. It is said that Lu Xiang will come to our city soon. 288 It is thought that. It is thought that man's ability to learn languages makes him different from the animals. 289 It is not true that. It is true that city life is much more exciting than country life. 290 It is very difficult to. It is very difficult to foretell what the world will be like in the future. 291 It's really a challenge for me to. It's really a challenge for me to take this job and I think I will appreciate working with you. 292 It is very useful to. It is very useful to recite English sentences and passages. 293 It was obvious clear that. It is obvious clear that she is terribly nervous on stage. 294 It seemed that. It seemed that no one knew what had happened. 295 It sounds like. It sounds like a good idea. 296 It will take SB some time money to do something. It took me years of hard work to speak good English. 297 It wasn't until that. It wasn't until yesterday that I got your letter. 298 It would be wonderful if. It would be wonderful if we can get together on Christmas. 299 It's not just like SB to do something. LT's not like Jim to be late for class. He regards time as the most important thing in life. 300 LT's a bad habit too. It's a bad habit to put off things until the last minute. 301 to 325. 301 It's a great pleasure to. It's a great pleasure to do business with you. 302 It's customary to. It's customary to give people gifts on their birthday. 303 It's delightful to. LT's delightful to play by the seashore. 304 LT's my great honor to. It's my great honor to introduce the governor. 305 It's not good to. It's not good to get into the habit of telling lies. 306 It's our duty to. It's our duty to protect the forests from destruction. 307 It's wrong to. It's wrong to read people's private letters without permission. 308 It's a shame pity that. It's a shame that you cannot make it to the party tonight. 309 It is, really, unbelievable that. It's really unbelievable that such an honest fellow should have betrayed his friends. 1. 310 It will be difficult to. I think it will be difficult to tell her the truth. 311 It'll do you good to. I think it'll do you good to drink 8 glasses of water every day. 312 Last but not least. Last but not least I'd love to thank all my teachers and friends. 313 Let me explain why. Let me explain why I didn't do my homework. 314 Let me fill you in on. Let me fill you in on the company's new policies. 315 Just let me know if 1. let me know if you change your mind. 2. Just let me know if you don't know how to get to that shop. I will be glad to take you there. 316 Let me see if. Let me see if I can be of any help. 317 Make sure to do something. Make sure to leave a note if you go out. 318 Maybe it's better to. Maybe it's better to stay at the hospital for another few days. 319 Means a great deal to me. Your encouragement means a great deal to me. 320 My dream goal hope plan is. My dream is to speak English in 3 months. 321 My point of view is that. My point of view is that everybody should have the right to get an education. 322 No matter what. No matter what happens, I'll always stand by you. 323 No one can deny that. No one can deny that the accident was caused by carelessness. 324 No sooner, than. No sooner had he closed his eyes than he fell asleep. 325 No words can express. No words can express how surprised and happy I was when I saw the gift. 326 to 350. 326 Not until, did. Not until I began to work did I realize how much time I had wasted. 327. Now that we are alone we can talk freely. 328 On the condition that. You can leave school early on the condition that you finish your assignment first. 329 On the contrary. Their criticism did not discourage me. On the contrary, I worked even harder. 330 On the one hand. On the other hand. On the one hand I admire your ability, but on the other hand, I distrust your judgment. 331 One of the is. One of the most impressive pieces of writing is Hamlet. 332 Personally I think believe feel. Personally I think that women play an increasingly important role in society now. 333 Please don't hesitate to. Please don't hesitate to contact us if you are in need of assistance. 334 Please feel free to. Please feel free to visit me when you are in Guangzhou. 335 Please forgive me for. Please forgive me for being late. 336 Please give my best wishes to. Please give my best wishes to your parents. 337 Recent studies show that. Recent studies show that an increasing number of students go abroad at an early age. 338 SB can do nothing but do. Their neighbors can do nothing but envy their new pool. 339 SB has had no choice but to do. We had no choice but to take a taxi for we'd missed the last bus. 340 SB Look, as if. She looks as if she is unfriendly at first. 341 Something must be done to. Something must be done to change our current examination system. 342 Sorry to bother you but. Sorry to bother you but I have a question to ask you. 343 Thanks to his parents' encouragement and support he finally realized his dream. 344 The point is that you have to keep your promise to help her with her English. 345 The problem question is that whether 1. The problem now is that we're locked out of the house. 2. The question is whether they will be able to help us. 346 The reason why is. The reason why he made such a great achievement is his perseverance. 347 The secret of is to. The secret of success is to do the common things uncommonly well. 348 The way I see it. The way I see it, you should avoid making the same mistake again. 349 This was the moment when I realized that I wanted to be a professional singer. 350 That reminds me I must get some cash. 351 to 375. 351 There are signs that. There are signs that you have made a significant improvement. 352 There is no doubt that. There is no doubt that health is better than wealth. 353 There seems to be. There seems to be a little misunderstanding between them. 354 There used to be. There used to be many forests in our country. 355 There's no point in. There's no point in getting angry when things have happened. 356 There's no way. There's no way one could succeed without hard work. 357 To a great some extent. 1. To a great extent you will be on your own. 2. To some extent from self-confidence comes success, and from success comes more self-confidence. 358 To be frank honest. To be honest, I don't think we have a chance of winning. 359 To one's delight, joy, surprise. 1. To my delight there's a sale on clothes on Beijing Road. 2. To my surprise I got a new computer for my birthday. 360 To start with. To start with, let's talk about how much money we need. 361 To sum up. To sum up, life in the future will certainly be very different from that of today. 362 To tell you the truth. To tell you the truth, I used to make a lot of trouble when I was young. 363 We hold the opinion that. We hold the opinion that miracles sometimes occur, but one has to work terribly hard for them. 364 We must do something to. We must do something to reduce the pollution. 365 We must take action measures to. 1. We must take action to keep up with new developments. 2. We must take measures to better the traffic. 366 We should make every effort to. We should make every effort to protect our valuable drinking water. 367 What do you find the hardest in? What do you find the hardest in learning English? 368 What do you mean by? What do you mean by telling me a lie? 369 What do you say? What do you say we go for a drive one of these days when it clears up? 370 What do you think of? What do you think of the relationship between China and America? 371 What I'm getting at is. What I'm getting at is that he deserves this promotion. 372 What is more serious is that. What is more serious is that you didn't realize your mistake. 373 What's the point of? What's the point of arguing about it? 374 What makes you think? What makes you think he will show up? 375 What seems to be the problem with? What seems to be the problem with the computer? It doesn't work smoothly. 376 to 400. 376 What seems to be the trouble is? What seems to be the trouble is that nobody knows how to operate this machine. 377 What surprised me is that. What surprised me is that everybody seemed to be very indifferent to her. Indifferent adjective. 378 What will you do if? What will you do if such kind of thing happens to you? 379 What you have to do is. What you have to do is hand in your composition tomorrow. 380 What would you say think of? What would you say if the project will have to be postponed? 381 When do you want me to? When do you want me to give you my final decision? 382 When it comes to. When it comes to English he's an expert. 383 When will it be convenient for you to? When will it be convenient for you to come to my home? 384 Would you be so kind as to? Would you be so kind as to get our board and lodging ready? Board and lodging. 385 Would you like to? Would you like to join us? We're sure you'll have a good time. 386 You are expected to. You are expected to work late tonight. 387 You are not allowed to. You are not allowed to use my computer when I'm away. 388 You are not permitted to. You are not permitted to park your car here. 389 You are required to. You are required to show the ticket. 390 You are supposed to. You are supposed to have finished reading this novel by now. 391 You don't have to. You don't have to be present. 392 You don't need to. You don't need to do all that was required of us. 393 You really have to do something about. You really have to do something about your poor pronunciation. 394 You should avoid doing something. You should avoid being late for school. 395 You should make an effort to. You should make an effort to improve your reading comprehension. 396 You should make good use of. You should make good use of your spare time to practice English. 397 You should never. You should never flap about. What is needed is your solid action. Flap about. 398 You were, not, supposed to. Jim, you were supposed to call 3 hours ago. 399 You will be able to, if. You will be able to get accepted by a top law school if you can pass the exam. 400 You'll never guess. You'll never guess who telephoned me just now, my cousin from America. 40